Everybody, Brad here. So going to do a quick walkthrough on the my Rails project, which is called Bike Warehouse, and it's kind of an Amazon type shopping website for people to browse bikes and make purchases and that sort of thing. So let's do a quick reset on the database. Talked about in some of my other videos the importance of doing this once you think you have things working real well. It's always kind of good to refresh that, make sure that there's not some bugs that you've created since you made your migrations and that sort of thing initially. While that's doing that, we'll just have a quick look over here at the models. So there's a few different ones. We've got our bike model. We've actually got it opened up here already. Let's make this a little bit larger. So our bike has some associations to it. It's got a frame that it's associated with. It can be associated with a purchase. This has an optional flag set to true, so it doesn't, this way when we make a bike it doesn't have to be associated with a purchase. I found that out the hard way, that I think it was starting with Rails 5. If there's a belongs to association, Rails expects for the object to be valid, it expects that association to be filled in. So so you've got to set this optional to true so that it doesn't have to belong to a purchase, right? It also has this, there's a has many to has many with this reviews, but that's actually through frames up here. And then we've got some validations. I've got these before and after validations and this after update that happens. And basically, I didn't want to, when I was making bikes, I didn't want to have to go in and type in a serial number each time, so I kind of put in a little cheater method down here in the private section called set serial. And basically, if when we're making a bike, if we leave the serial field blank, it will set it to time.now. After validation, we set the part number. So after we validated that all the information is correct, we set this part number down here. And basically it kind of gives us this, what you might expect to find is like a part number on a website or a shopping site of some sort. It allows, having that part number allows us to gather all the bikes that have the same part number to see how many are available for sale. And we'll look at that here in a second. And then of course, if an administrator makes a change to the bike in some way, maybe they put in the color wrong or the size wrong, after we update we want to set the part number again. So that's what this after update does here. And then as far as validations, here we're just making sure that we've got all these properties are filled in, that they're present, and then we've got some numericality validations to make sure that these values are coming in only as integers. So let's see here. We said that bike has a frame. So right here, this frame is real simple. It just has a name, and it also has many disciplines. So in cycling, you know, we've got different disciplines in cycling. You know, you've got road racing, you've got racing and recreational, you've got road, mountain bike, and then within each of those different disciplines you can kind of have these sub-disciplines, right? So in road race you might have, from a road racing perspective, you might have a road racing versus criterium racing versus time trial, and so we've got these disciplines, and really frames kind of, then it's not really black and white necessarily what a frame's used for, right? They kind of cover a multitude of disciplines. So there's a has many to has many relationship there, that's covered, where we use this join table to join those together. And then lastly, to make up a frame, there's a manufacturer, right? And the manufacturer has many frames. And so I think that's enough browsing through these models real quick. Let's go ahead and just look at the website or the app itself. We've got our Let's minimize that. So here's how it looks. We've got welcome to the bike warehouse, and basically there's an option to browse all bikes, or you can choose a specific discipline if you like, or I'm sorry, a specific manufacturer. Likewise, you can go in here and you can browse by discipline and select your specific discipline that you're looking for. One of the things that I built into here, you'll notice that you can go through and you can click on each of these columns to sort it. And so what that's doing is I made some custom paths that I nested inside the bike's resources up here. And basically when you click on one of these, it goes to the sort path and then which column you clicked on, and there's a direction. And so this direction is initially created as ascending, and then if someone clicks on that, it simply toggles the direction to descending, and so on and so forth. So if we go to view one of these bikes, maybe we can see a little bit more detailed information about it. Here we see that part number that was generated by when we created the object, and how many are available. I think I should have, yeah, here we are, this other Venge in a 57. We can see here that we have an option to add, however many are available to the cart. So let's just go ahead and do that for now. Add that to the cart. And then we can see here that checkout is grayed out, right? And we've got a little note that we need to log in to proceed. So let's do that real fast. And now if we go back to our cart, go to checkout. So this user that was created in the seed files already has a shipping address on file. It doesn't have a billing address, but we can check here just to use the shipping as the billing address. And credit card field, which the only validation here is that the field can't be empty. And there we go. We have a receipt. Again, it generates a transaction number, and this was kind of done the same way that the serial number was, but the idea was just to give a unique tracking number to these objects for later on, make it seem more official than it might be. And now if we go back to browsing the bikes, we can see that the Venge still shows up in the list, but its quantity is 0. So might seem odd, but this was intentional to leave these in there in that way. Before they did say out of stock, and that was giving me a little bit of a bug, and will probably be something that I'll go back and address. And let's say that now that we've gotten our bike and we liked it, we can go in here and we can leave a review. So this is one of the requirements for this project, was that there was a has many to has many relationship that the user has direct input into, right? And so for that, I chose this a review object or model. So basically, users can have lots of reviews, and bikes can have lots of reviews. So there's that has many to has many relationship. So then the review kind of becomes the join table. It's kind of naturally a join table for the for bikes and users. And then it's got some other properties, right? So a review is made up of a rating and a comment, and it has to have both. So we'll leave a comment here. Really cool bike. Oh, we got an error. Okay, so in our reviews controller. So interesting. Oops, that's our model. Let's go to our controller, see what's happening here. I think I know what's happening. I changed the views a little bit, and I think I changed where the think I changed the format of the params a little bit. Let's put a binding.pry in here and see what's happening. Get a split screen here so I don't have to keep toggling back and forth. There we are. Let's resend. There we are. And there's our bike ID. Huh. That's interesting. Our bike ID did come through as nil. And I think I know why. So I had the reviews being associated with bikes, and the other day I changed it to frames because it made a little more sense to me to be associated with the frames rather than the bikes. And so I don't think I updated this view. So that would be our bikes show that's having the issue, I think. And down here it makes this review form, which I believe our review form is under partials here. There we are, bike ID. Let me get into a that's interesting, because now that I'm talking through this, I seem to remember coming in here and fixing this. So let's get back here and let's reload this so that it reloads the there we are, we're in our so params ID. Well, that's interesting. So it's showing me, let's actually inspect the page. Maybe there's something here that this will reveal. Shows that my hidden tag should be getting filled in with a ID of 1, which is from our bikes. And that will be this form down here for the review. Yeah, bike ID is 1. So why? Let's try leaving that again and see what happens here. Huh, and there, that time it worked. These are the worst kind of bugs in my opinion. Right, so what was it about? Oh, I think I know. Huh, interesting. So it has to do with the fact that when I went here, let me look at this again. This one that's out of stock. Well, it still has a bike ID value. Let's try and leave a review on that again. And I'm a bit puzzled as to why that happened. And there it worked. Huh. Well. And now it works just fine. These are the things that keep me awake at night. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay. Well, let's take these pries back out. I don't remember where I put that other one now. It was in the review controller, if I remember right. There we are. Alright, well, back to just doing this walkthrough. We can see that that even though these bikes have different sizes, like I said earlier, the ratings are actually being associated with the frame, because when it comes down to it, the frame's kind of what defines a bike, right? So that's why I chose to have these reviews be associated with the frame. And we can also see that we get this average rating, right? We rated one as a 9.5 and the other one as a 10, so we get this average. And again, if we click on this ratings tab, it will go back and forth. Under the profile, users can also reach their transaction history, right, and pull their receipts back up. Let's log out real quick and log in as an admin, which, and by the way, there is the login with Facebook, so users have that capability. If we do our admin login, we see that the page looks a little bit different, right? It says admin panel at the top, so we know that we're in there. And admins kind of have a similar structure, right? They can view the inventory just like users could, but there's a little bit more information here. It shows the part number and serial numbers right up front. It also shows you specifically which bikes have been sold. And also another key difference between the admin panel and the user panel, or the user interface, is that the admin panel's not narrowing the searches down by part number. So the admin panel actually pulls bike.all, whereas when you're viewing it as a user, it just shows you the unique part numbers, the bikes by their part number, basically. So again, we can go in here and maybe we notice that there was a mistake, right? Maybe this color wasn't white, it's actually red. We can save changes and get that stuff updated, and we can see that the part number changed to reflect that the color is red now. Again, we can see transaction history. This would pull up all transactions, or if we go to the user section, we can see which users have, specific activity for that user. And then there's an edit inventory tab, where basically this gives the admin access to fix any issues that they might need, right? Maybe maybe there's a manufacturer or a frame name that got misspelled or something. This would be the place to access that and make that correction. I am noticing that I'm missing my add inventory tab. So, I need to go in and add that in real quick. Maybe we'll do that for a live coding session here in a minute. But as far as a walkthrough for the app and how it works, I think that's going to conclude this session. So if you get a chance, check out Bike Warehouse. You can find it on, let's see if we can pull it. Oh, I don't have internet connection out here. But there you've got it. github.com/bshrog620, and just look for Bike Warehouse in my repository. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you have a good day.